Hi guys, and welcome to this part 1 of 2, building and painting a Salamander's fleet. Okay, so if you've not watched my sort of generic unboxing of the Salamanders, it should pop up as one of those special links above me now. Check them out. I'm really interested in the fleet. So my main fleets are going to be Twilight King and Salamanders. The big lizards that are pirates with like cannons, why would you not want them? So I've got a Drake, I've got a starter fleet, and I've got a booster fleet. Now I want to take you through the process of doing an entire project. So this part I'm going to show you how I clean the models, build them all up, discuss sort of which ones I'm going to select if there's multiple options for them, and then we'll sort of get them to the stage where they are primed, ready for painting, which will be in part 2. And if you stay tuned for part 2, I'm going to be trying something new. I'm going to try Army Painter's speed paints to try and paint a fleet well with one coat quickly. So the first step is to take weight of what we're actually going to try and achieve. I've got extra large ships, medium ships, so on and so forth. And all the bits are all sort of separate. Now Mantic doesn't issue instructions, so what I'm going to do, I need to keep this kit separate from this kit and so on and so forth. If we look at the kits, they are a resin kit, okay? So all the bits are lovely. They're really well detailed, as we've already seen. However, this piece, to get that detail, the mould will be soaked with a releasing agent. And what that means is when they'll be upside down like that, and they fill them in with resin, it goes through these channels into the sculpt itself and then makes an awesome miniature. When they come to pry them open, they need releasing agents so you can actually get that out of the mould. Releasing agent is the painter's worst enemy, so we need to wash all these aspects, and what we need for that is a bowl. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to stand that there so I know which box is in it. In the actual box itself, the bases and anything that's MDF can come out. And what we need to do is wash these components. So, we need some water. We need some detergent in that water. Other brands are available. And now we need to carefully individually do each piece. So we have soaked for a couple of minutes. Box there, because I'm going to keep them all together, basically. What we need now is my precious an old toothbrush. I've literally gone in and borrowed this from Mrs. Bunker. She uses it to clean the taps at home. So I don't know. But it's ideal for resin. So what we do, it's really simple, guys. Yeah, get a lather up there, get that releasing agent off, vacuum, lukewarm water. Yeah, I've got a towel. I'm going to dab it away, dab it off as easy as I can. Yeah, that component's done. In the box. So I'm not going to bore you and show you me doing that with all 3 boxes, as if by the magic of YouTube. Washed and in their relevant boxes. So what I'm going to do now, guys, it's coming to the end of the day here for me. I am going to let these thoroughly dry overnight. And for anyone that sort of says, oh, washing them is a waste of time, look how dirty and filthy this water is now. Look at that. And that's all just off the miniatures. And it's all part of the releasing agents. Make sure you wash that off. Top tip. Next, we're going to break out the clippers and we're going to trim and file everything, ready to build it. Now that our components are all dry, we can start to clean them up. Now I clean in batches. What I mean by cleaning, guys, if I take that sail, obviously we want to be removing all of this gubbins. So to do that, you're going to need some tools. And for our younger gamers, do always ask an adult for help if you're using clippers, knives and files. To clean it's really simple. Use a pair of flat snips. So they have a flat piece here, which the idea is I'm going to put it up against that. I'm holding both parts to avoid shattering. done. Onto there, that's the connection to put into the ship, done. This side, I'm going all on that aspect, done. There's still cleaning to do on that component, but a top tip for you is don't throw these away. So these, with some clips here, and these are obviously just waste resin components. I have a ready-made barricade, pill, stone, concrete slab that I can use for firefight and other games. So keep those aside. We have an aspect here, which is all connected. Now, one of the things that you can do with these is just run your snip just gently along. And flathead snippers are excellent for this. You can sort of gently take it away and it'll come away in components, in little bits. Do you see what I mean? So that's all the extra mould setting and so on and so forth off. What I'm doing now, we have these aspects here. So obviously we've got an area here where there's a little undulation left, and then around the side. What I'm going to do, I'm in my bunker, so I'm well ventilated. Resin dust is dangerous, okay, so do wear a mask. You'll be able to see where, hopefully where I'm filing, because I have a pink dust on my file to help show you where I'm going. So I've gone along there, and I'm just going to keep going until I'm happy with it. And you can see all the dust that's coming away. You know, that is dangerous, guys, so make sure you're not breathing that in. I'm going up on the side. There we go. Down the side there. Just giving it a tickle with the file. Now that side. The top's actually quite well done, and although we haven't taken any of the actual flash off here, you can see that there's like a line in there, and it's part of the moulding process, so I'm just going to remove that as well. There we go. In the side of the sails, same principle. I'm just going to give it a tickle with the beveled edge of the file. There we go. One sail. I'm going to do exactly the same principle with this, slightly easier because a lot of the details are actually neat on there. So again, I'm going to go in my clippers, doing there, and I'm going to find there, keep that bit. And there's some sort of bits of flash here that I don't want to damage the detail on this, and it's not flat, so I'm using my knife, okay? Be careful when using a knife, guys. Be careful with the edge of my clipper, sorry, the edge of my blade. And I just go in, and younger gamers, be careful with this and ask, you know, ask an adult for help. It's not difficult, but it is dangerous. There we go. Wow. And then, just where we've taken the flash away, gently run the file in there. Two components cleaned. Into the box, keep them all separate. Now it's rinse and repeat. Again, I'm not going to bore you guys. I'm going to clean all the other components up, and then we'll come back for some building. There we go. We're all clean, primed and ready. So I'm going to move on to sticking these together. And I also have all of these lovely offcuts ready for a future science fiction project. It's like free terrain. I'm going to stick my Drake together first. So a box for reference. Let's have a look at the components. So the base first. The first thing I do, guys, is I take the base. I filed that flat on the bottom, so I'm going to fasten the entire thing down to the base. Super glue is the go-to here. This is just bog standard super glue. You can get fancy named stuff. It's super glue. Really easy. I want to make sure my contact points are good. The base is probably where I put the most amount down. And I'm thinking about how I want the ship to overhang. Okay, so I'm attaching it down there. It's straight. That's lined up with the front of the base. That's lined up with the back. Applying pressure, and now we're going to leave this component. Now the cards are a brilliant reference to actually see how you build the ship. So if I look at it here, the Drake is there's an option to build the named ship, which has got a shield. Now I'm actually going to build the named ship. The reason being is my friends were quite capable of saying, oh, actually that's a Drake. So I can do both, and I kind of like the cool Stargate looking shield on the end. However, what it means is it knows that I've got the element on the front, I've got the shield on the back. Always making sure that we're using the right component. There we go, pressure, and I'm holding it. I'm going to leave it until it's set. We now have the sort of shield mirror that's going to go on the back. So think about the orientation here. It generates that ball of protection. And I want it to be straight. There we go. Lined up as best we can get it. There we go. So we're getting there. It's a beastly ship, isn't it? I'm now going to come in and stick my deck cannons on. So don't each one. I'm putting these on before the sails because otherwise they're going to be awkward to get to. So again, popping it in like that. You could use tweezers for this if you wanted to, guys. I don't feel the need to, basically. And this is where you have an option. You can stop here, undercoat and paint the sails separately, or you can stick the whole miniature together. I'm a stick the whole miniature together kind of guy. I always have been, I always will be, but no way is right or wrong. So sails, dead easy. If you remember, they have this knobble bit on the end, and that lines up with one of the holes now. So like the newer Armada models, they fit really well. So obviously one in there with super glue, dry it, one in there with super glue, and then the smaller sails. So I'm going to fasten the sails in. Sometimes you may come across things that need pinning. I've not yet with Armada. Some people will require a pin. If that was the case, up there, I would drill a hole, use a piece of paper clip, and go through there. There we go, all stuck in. I didn't pin in the end. I actually managed to get some quite firm connection points. Look at that monster of a ship. So I'm going to start building the others, guys. I'm not going to go through building every single ship. Little interesting points I'll do on video, how to straighten components and stuff like that. But let's get building. Components that are left over from multi-option kits, keep them. They're brilliant for Kings of War bases, so on and so forth. Quite a few people ask me how many of these boats you put on. So on the smaller bases, it's up to you guys. It's your hobby. If you want to put both models on there, do it. If you want to put one on, do it. It's your models, it's your hobby, it's your game. Yeah, I put one on here because they're quite large, and I want to be able to actually have some ripple water effects, stuff like that. So I've just been sticking together one of my foot come up, and when it's like, oh, shock, it's a bent aspect. So obviously that's going to be, oh no, it's not orcs sailing this, it's salamanders. So what do we do? Mrs. Bonker, I'm just going to use the kettle for nothing dodgy or related to miniatures at all. Obviously that's very hot. I'm going to dip the end in that's bent into the boiling water, not for long, bring it out. There we go. One more time. From bend to not bend. Easy as that. Quick, before she finds us. Now it's straight again. Ah. So let's get it glued. Behold, the fleet is built. So, these went together really easily, guys, because you've done that thorough cleanup step. You just sit down and just blast it out. Now, I'm going to paint them in next video, but what I'm going to do now is prime them. And because I'm using speed paint, I'm going to be priming them in an off-white. Like that. All primed and ready for next video's painting. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video, and do stay tuned for part 2. So next week, I'll put up part 2 where we're going to paint the entire fleet, and we are going to use Army Painter speed paints. And we're going to answer the question, can you paint a fleet to look decent using your core one box of paints in one coat? I'm excited. We're all excited. Who isn't excited? Somebody's gobbling somewhere's excited. Basically, you need to subscribe. This is my basically end-to-end process is how I approach a project, and I thought it'd be really interesting to document it and show you the steps I take. If you like what we do, don't forget our socials. We've got an active Discord where people are all describing all things Armada, all things Mantic, and other game systems. They do exist, they're just not as good. So yeah, we'd love to see you. If you want to join us, that would be fantastic. If you want to support us, don't forget we are on Patreon, and we do give away items. So, you know, in a few days' time, there's actually a fully painted Armada fleet up for grabs, so don't forget to pop a support into our Patreon. But for now, stay safe, stay well, and happy hobbying.